It's
free real estate.
Hey everyone, it's Gali Clouds here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Well, this video has been really highly requested. Just to show you what I get up in the studio, how I make my music, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. Before we get into the video though, I just wanted to thank everyone who voted on the Insta stories. If you haven't checked me out on Insta, go and do so. There's always a ton of things going on, little polls, Q&As that are going on in the stories or just as posts. So yeah, make sure to follow me there. The song that I wanted to check out with you guys today is called I'll Just, which I made with Gali. It's one of those songs that really come naturally. Just found inspiration when my friend was playing a Beatles song on his guitar, and from there we just kind of rearranged the chords a bit and made it really work. So for those who are not really producers and but still want to know how I make music, where all of this comes from, basically I'm using digital audio workstation. As you can see here, this is my program, Logic Pro 10. It's one of the top DAWs out there, along with Ableton. FL Studio is also a big one, Cubase, and many more. It's hard to actually go and explain everything into detail, obviously, because there's just so much to learn. If you go and check it out, it says that you need, 10 hours just to figure out, for example, how Logic and probably other DAWs as well, how it functions. 100 hours to actually get really familiar to some extent with all its functions and everything, and about 1,000 hours to probably become an expert. Now I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert, I'm far from an expert, but I have been producing for 5 years now, and yeah, I'm still learning as a producer, as a musician. I'm still improving every day. Cool. So without me rambling too much, I just want to show you, for example, the process that we took to make this song. This is the first thing that we recorded, was just a guitar with some simple processing on it, a little EQ, a gain, some chroma reverb, which is a reverb that I really like using since it gives this really rich sound, auto filter as well. Yeah, that's kind of the basics of it. Other things that were going on then is the piano on top, with a little beat loop that I found, and a little arpeggio that has some automation on it. Really simple stuff. And well, I apologize, my computer's a bit slow, and it's a bit of an old one, and it does not like handling apparently using my DAW and recording at the same time, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So that's the basics of the intro that we did. For the build-up, it's also pretty simple. We are using some of the leads and some of the chords that are used then in the drop, just kind of filter out and slowly fading in with a bit of effects such as some white noise risers and synth risers. Really simple snare build-up. The little conversation that was going on beneath, if you've listened to the song before, is actually from Notting Hill, which yeah, it's a cool movie. So yeah, there's that.
The fame thing isn't really real, you know. And don't forget, I'm also just a girl. Stay here. Asking you to love her.
This is probably one of my favorite drops that I've made so far. I just love the chord progression and how everything kind of builds up. Really invested a lot of time in making the beat as well underneath it. So if we check it out, we have the leads, which is kind of these two playing a bit of a higher melody, And we have this one which plays kind of a bit of a lower melody just to give it some more movement. And then we move on to the chords. With most of my songs, I really like using this kind of classical influence as well. So a lot of times, if you listen carefully, there's going to be violins or cellos or the whole orchestra within a song. And what I did differently this time as well was I love, if you listen to kind of some of the melodic dubstep songs or similar stuff, you'll hear that there's also a lot of times choir in these songs. And I just fell in love when I was checking out different choirs, different options for that. I fell in love with the gospel choir sample, and it's just fabulous. So it really worked well with the song as well. And as you can see, the chords are pretty simple. You have violins, which are playing chords and then being panned left and right. The gospel choir, also quite simple. Then we have two super saw synths, also again panned left and right, and some more synths playing chords, being panned left and right. What I did with them as well was sidechain them to the kick, which means it kind of ducks, for those that don't know, it kind of ducks the volume of it whenever the kick hits, so the kick can cut through the mix more. It becomes more of a prominent element, and it makes for a cool effect overall. Right, then we come to the bass, which I always like to keep really simple. We have a top bass, and I love using the Chainsmoker bass as well, which gives the bass this really nice kind of grit. And the sub bass obviously for the lower frequencies. Also, it is sine shade to the kick, especially because the frequencies between the bass and the kick really tend to clash, since both obviously have a lot of low frequencies. And side chaining is really, really, really important. Really simple stuff, as you can see, but the beat was a bit more interesting to make. I really drew a lot of inspiration from these melody dubstep songs made by Nurko or Trivecta. Illenium has some amazing beats as well, and kind of drew my inspiration from there. So I'm using only one kick because it just fits in really well with the song. Didn't need to stack it with a transient kick or anything else. Snares, I wanted to build around this one, which is a longer snare. Edit some elements, for example with the trap snare, some higher frequencies to make it more snappy. Simple stuff. And I like adding a reverse snare as well, just to make the whole beat kind of move around more. What it is, it's super simple, basically a sample of a snare, just cut off a bit and reversed. That's all there is to it. Now, the other thing that really gives movement to this track are the two rights here, which sound really nice. Basic stuff. And then we have a lot of hi-hats, as you can see. In fact, it's quite simple, to be honest. So there's nothing major going on here. It's just two different hi-hats playing at two different speeds, being panned left and right. As simple as that. Nothing more to see there. It gives the beat really nice movement. So yeah, there you have it. The only other thing worth mentioning in this job is maybe the fills that come in to fill in some space. The second part of the job is basically the same. It just does not have a gospel choir, and the leads go away, and what comes in is the piano, which is playing like the top low chords, as you can hear. yeah, that's about it. Second part is I know I've been saying this a lot, but because there's elements in this song that are really really simple, and as you can see, it is literally 4 tracks playing together. This part here, there's an arpeggio on top, a bit of cut off, automated on there, and some violins, some cellos, and some violas. A lot of these classical elements I'm used to, at least in my previous productions, I used to use just the free standard plugins that Logic Pro provides. However, I've now I'm now an owner of LBM1, which is an absolutely amazing plugin by Spitfire Audio, which sounds far more realistic and far better than whatever this sounds like. But it does the job, and at the end of the day, that's what's important. Again, some more Notting Hill quotes there for you.
I'm a fairly level-headed bloke. Not often in and out of love, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's I think quite monotonous. But yeah, now the second build up is pretty much the same as the first one. Again, just some automation to fade everything in with the high frequency cuts. The only change is maybe the beginning of the drop. There's a bit of a change in rhythm. And for the second part, I don't take the leads out, but I leave them in, as well as the gospel choir, and I just take the piano on top of it just to make it sound even bigger, I suppose. Right, that's basically it. The ending though, I quite liked it. It was one of the, of course we did like a lot of recordings of the guitar with my friend, and this was just one of them that I kind of kept, even I'm not sure why, but it just works perfectly with the ending. Yeah, that's basically how I made it. Of course I could go way more in depth about the production side of it, with the EQs and all the other choices, user samples, how I compress things, how I mastered it, because as you can see I mastered here on my own. Not amazing mastering, but you gotta do what you gotta do as a non-professional producer. So that's basically that. If you guys want me to go more in depth next time, or if you have another song that you want me to check out with you guys, please do let me know. I love doing these kind of videos for you. But until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys very soon.